Get started over here. All right, cool. And make sure I'm recording. All right, cool. So here we go. So every single month, I do these pretty much interactive type of training sessions. So what I do is teach people the Forex market, but I like to leverage the iMarkets Live platform that everybody signed up with. One, because it's a lot more affordable than what I charge individually to teach, about like a fifth of what I charge individually, because mostly when I teach, it's my time. The thing about the Forex market is that it's open 24 hours a day. And so every minute that you're away from the charts, you're missing opportunities. So when I teach, I'm definitely not able to look at the charts the way I want to. So that's why I don't do a lot of one-on-ones, teachings and consultations, because it takes me away from the charts. So the only other way to kind of compensate for my time is to use the iMarkets Live platform to kind of leverage that. So that's why I have people go through that way. And plus they get a lot more for bang for their buck. So before I kind of get into like Forex and all that kind of stuff, I kind of like to go through kind of what you're getting and what you're, able to use and everything. So I've been trading, particularly the Forex market, for about the last 5 years. And if you're familiar with any like courses or online trading programs, they can get rather pricey really fast. So I've taught people that have paid $20,000 for a course, and I've taught people that have gone through YouTube trying to learn stuff. So the gamut is pretty wide on that. But when it comes to actually paying for something and actually getting education and tools and a system and a strategy, I found that the iMarkets Live program really does give you everything at a really good, reasonable price. So that's kind of why I like to use it. So we'll kind of go through what all you have and then how I kind of incorporate into that. So let me do a screen share here. If you got any questions as I'm kind of go through this, definitely let me know. The reason I do these live courses once a month is really to help new people get started and not kind of get lost out there, because learning this stuff can get tedious, or you can confuse yourself very easily if you don't know what you're kind of looking at. So I'm going to start here. So everybody's signed up. They come through iMarkets Live. If you got a chance to go through any of this, that's great. If not, that's cool too, because I'm going to walk you through it. We're not going to actually like go through everything that's in the iMarkets Live, iMarkets Live back office. But what I am going to do is kind of teach you along with what they're showing you. So it's going to be very important to actually go through the courses and everything. Now, another reason I like to leverage your platform is because I know not everybody has the time to actually go through and do video trainings and stuff like that. When I was teaching my own course that I put together, it was 6 weeks. So you really could not afford to miss a class, because it was about an hour and a half sessions for 6 weeks. So if you missed a class, you missed a lot of information. At least with iMarkets Live platform, you can take your time and kind of go through this. So I more so teach things on a surface layer, and then like the more advanced stuff, we kind of do those on our 8 o'clock sessions for anybody that wants to join in on that. Being newbies, you don't want to come into the 8 o'clock sessions because you will get lost very quickly, because we kind of go into some more detailed strategies and stuff like that. So definitely I recommend everybody go through this initial basics training first before they jump into that. Trading the markets is a skill set that you learn. It's not an overnight process. It's definitely a skill that you learn just like any other job that you perform. If you're a systems architect, if you're a firefighter, police officer, the little traits and techniques that you learn in these different skills is the same thing that you do as a trader and learning how to trade these markets. So when you're first in the iMarkets Live back office, the main thing that you want to start with is the IML Academy. These are basic videos that really guide you through what the foreign exchange market is. So Forex is just a short version of the word foreign exchange. So you definitely want to go through these. Don't rush trying to go through these videos. If there's something that you don't understand, that's what we're really using these session times for, and more so on our 8 o'clock sessions, but definitely here as well, because I'm going to teach along with what they're talking about in the videos. So if you don't get a chance to watch every single video as we're going through the next 4 weeks, that's fine. But definitely you want to go through the entire course, because there's going to be some other things on there that I can't get to everything in 8 sessions. So we're going to do about 45 minutes a session. So I can get through a lot, but I can't get through everything in 8 45-minute sessions, because there's a lot of different things, you know, that come with trading. But definitely go through the IML Academy, and definitely the basics up to pretty much the intermediate level. We'll get through a lot of that over the first month, over this month that we're actually doing everything. Okay. Next thing back here is what's called IML TV. Now, IML TV is awesome because not only do you have me kind of showing you things, but you also have about a dozen other traders and teachers that are doing the exact same thing. And so there's always a training going on every single day, literally in the morning and in the evening. So not only do you get one educator, you get like a dozen of us, okay? So there is a training schedule that's actually back here. So if you click on the right-hand side where it says live training schedule, this will bring up a training, an actual training schedule. So you click on that, you'll get to this page, and you'll see different things that you can look at. Binary options is a strategy of trading. We won't really get into that here, but we'll do it. We'll do that type of stuff in our 8 o'clock sessions. Crypto trading education. Crypto is the hot new thing right now. So IML teaches people how to trade cryptos. If you know anybody that's interested in learning the crypto space, definitely refer them to iMarkets Live using your referral link. And that way you don't have to pay the monthly subscription for iMarkets Live if you just refer 2 people. Everybody's trying to learn the crypto markets. iMarkets Live is putting together a whole entire academy just for crypto education, how to trade it, how to invest in it, long-term strategies, auto traders, all that kind of stuff is all in this platform. English and Spanish, depending on what languages you speak, German and Portuguese as well. This is where you're going to actually click on to actually get inside of the actual, what they call iMarkets Live TV. Okay. So if I click on English, this is going to be the channel guide. This shows every single educator and what time they actually teach. So if there's a particular teacher you want to watch, you can definitely look and see when they're scheduled and see when they're teaching. Mike Miles is a good buddy of mine. He runs the Trade House down in Dallas. Mike's been trading on Twitch and Hitbox and all these other social media channels for almost 2 years now. So he's used to teaching this every single day. I'm not going to jump on here and teach every single day because, again, it takes me away from the markets. And if I'm away from the markets, I can't make any money. So there's definitely a bunch of people that you can follow. Miss Duncan, she's also a good person to follow as well. She's on in the morning. Stephen Lindor, he's a good guy to follow as well. And Steve Gregory as well. Steve uses a similar strategy that I trade as well. That's why I recommend if you follow Steve as well. But you can definitely jump on what anytime works for you. I didn't even realize Oren was on here. This is new. I haven't been on here in a while. Oren Wright is on here. I've watched Oren trade a long time as well. So when you scroll through here, definitely which day of the week works best for you and what time works, and you can definitely jump on here. These sessions are recorded. So if you miss somebody that you really like to follow, you can always jump back on here and watch the recording. When they're in these rooms, and I'll kind of click on one to kind of show you if anybody's on tonight at 7 o'clock. But when they're in these rooms, you have basically a chat room. So you're going to be seeing somebody's screen. They're either going to be trading live. So if the markets are active, they're going to be looking for trades to actually take in the room. So they'll actually say, hey, sell. We're looking at the sell signal here at this certain price. and you can take the trade if you want to, and you don't have to take the trade. And sometimes the market might be slow. There's not really a lot of action going on. It might just turn into like an education session where you can just see market up the charts for potential setups that might happen. So it kind of depends on the market, and kind of depends on the trader themselves, what's going to happen in their particular session. But they do outline what they like to teach. So for example, Miss Duncan, she teaches Forex 101 classes. So it's basically the same thing that I'm doing here on these Mondays and Thursday sessions. It's really getting started with Forex. So if you're brand new, she's also awesome to follow for like basic type stuff. Down here, like I was saying, Steve trades a similar strategy to mine. He teaches something called Fibonacci forks and Fibonacci ratios and all that kind of stuff. It's more of an advanced technique. So you don't want to jump in there like day one and not really understand the markets at all, because he teaches more of advanced technique strategy. So let's see if we can find somebody that's on here tonight. So tonight's Thursday. I will scroll down Thursday's list here. And if I look down here, I see charting with Kyle and Kevin. Okay, so 7 p.m. Kyle and Kevin are doing some charting. So all we'll do is just keep on scrolling down here until I find their actual names. So Kyle and Kevin and charting Tokyo session. So I'll go ahead and click on that. And what this will do is bring me right into their live room. And so if I have questions, there's a chat box on the right-hand side that I can ask them questions. And let me turn on this volume. And we can see that they're actually live in there right now, teaching something. I don't know what they're teaching right now, but they're in there teaching. So they're with iMarkets Live, not only are you paying for an actual system and all that, you're actually paying to get educated, and the cost of education compared to some of these other companies out there is significantly different. $2,200 a year, $2,200 for the year versus like $15,000, $20,000. Like I've said, I've taught people the exact same thing. So we teach Forex mainly, but everything that you learn can be translated into the crypto markets or into the stock market. So you're not limited to just one thing when you learn it here. And you also find out too, everybody just, I'll send an email you guys can respond to, but there's a bunch of different little Facebook groups that we have trade signals and all that extra stuff, and we communicate daily inside these groups. You know, if somebody sees an opportunity, they'll kind of post it in there. Hey guys, look at this trade setup, and you know, you can take these trades if you want to or if you don't want to. So this is kind of the iMarkets Live TV. All right, so again, all this is at the top banner, or on the left-hand side of your back office. When you hit the trading tab, you'll have all the things down here and everything at the top right. So iMarkets Live Academy, iMarkets Live TV. We won't talk about the FX signals and the fusion traders. Those are basically for people that got the Platinum Plus. If you did not get the Platinum Plus, you can always upgrade later. But these are auto trader systems. Okay, so if you want to put money into an account and let it trade on your behalf, these auto trader systems do that for you. It's similar to, I don't know, like your 401k. One's a long-term trading system and one's a shorter-term trader. It trades more frequently. But if you don't want to actually trade yourself, you can put your money in an auto trader and it does all the work for you. Swipe trades is also part of the Platinum Plus package as well. But if you didn't get the Platinum Plus package, you can add that on separately. Swipe trades is awesome because Swipe trades is the app. So you just download the app from the App Store, Google Play Store, whatever it is on Android. I'm an iPhone guy. But you can download the app, and the app is from iMarkets Live, and there's traders that will send you trade alerts via the app. So if a trade's coming up, they will actually send you a picture. They will actually send you the buy signal or the sell signal, which prices to get in at, which prices to get out at, and which prices to have your stop loss at. So That app is pretty nice to actually not have to look at the charts all the time. You can just wait for a signal to come across, and you can take that signal if you want to. Oh, excuse me. You'll get about, I would say, 3 to 5 signals a week, sometimes more, depending on the market conditions. But it's really nice when you're out and about and you don't have time to really look at the charts. Somebody just sends you a signal, buy here, sell here, and you can get into the trades. All you have to do is literally copy it from that platform into your trading platform. We'll go through that over the next few weeks here, how to kind of do that. Another thing Market Slides gives you, this is crazy how much they give you for like $150 a month. If you guys have never looked at trading education and softwares and all that kind of stuff, this stuff is expensive. I'm going to the Traders Expo in New York. I do it every single year. It's a 3-day conference. I think it's Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, right there in Times Square. And it's a Traders Expo, when you get to meet different vendors and different educators and softwares and tools and scanners and all this kind of stuff. And this stuff costs a lot of money, so you're getting a lot in here. I will talk about that one later. The Web Analyzer, okay? This is a software that actually scans the market in real time and gives you trade alerts, okay? So it's another trade alert system. So I was logged into it here. Let me see here. I'm still logged in. Okay, still logged in. Let me close it and open it back up so you guys can see how to get into it. So if you click on Web Analyzer, it's going to bring up another tab. I'll bring up this tab, and then I can hit log in. You see there's also a Facebook group too that you can jump in. But what this is doing is on the right-hand side, it'll give you buy and sell signals. So based off a 5-minute chart, a 15-minute chart, and hourly chart. So if you want some faster trades, more frequent trades, you can use this to actually trade off of. There's webinars and all that kind of stuff. We got a Facebook group that for the guys that really use this particular faster style of trading a lot. We can get you put into all those groups. But this is really nice for the shorter term traders. And this thing spits out signals all day long. Okay. All you gotta do is scroll down here on the right hand side. You can kind of see all the signals that it's been sending out. All right. Now let me close this because we don't need that right now. And last but not least is the harmonic scanner. We will go through installing this probably next Thursday or that following Monday. We'll see how it goes. But the harmonic scanner is like the bread and butter of iMarkets Live. And what it is a trading strategy based off something called harmonics. Okay. It's probabilities and ratios that are put together that form these certain patterns in the market. And these patterns are predictable. And so the more predictable the pattern, the more reliable or the more confident really that you feel in taking these particular trades. So we will go through actually installing this on your computers. And there's also a web-based version of this. If you go to imlharmonicscanner.com, this is the web-based version of it. And for all the IML products and stuff, when you get to the login page, it's just your same username and password that you log into the main IML website with. But the web-based version is actually showing us these harmonic patterns, okay? And it'll show us entry points, and it'll show us take profit points. And we'll go through how to kind of read these things and how to kind of pick what pattern works best for you. On the left-hand side, you'll have these different brokers that it's actually scanning. So it's scanning all these various currency pairs. And I'll show you some better examples here in the bigger version. It's easier to see, especially on a replay. But it'll show you these entry points, these stop losses, and these take profit levels that you can actually get into the market with. So when you're trading, technology is awesome now because as you're trading, you don't have to spend a lot of time analyzing anymore. Software pretty much gives you these answers, and it's a matter of just logging in, seeing what's going on with the market, doing your own homework. But the system pretty much saves you time and telling you what you can be looking forward to trading, and you don't have to do a lot of going out and trying to figure out a trade to actually take. Okay. I got to keep drinking because I've been dealing with this flu for the last week. So that's the web-based version. And again, we'll go through all this stuff again, but I kind of want to give everybody an overview of what they've actually paid for before we even get into the class. Okay. That's why I want to keep the first class always kind of light. Now here is the actual scanner installed on your computer. I prefer this one because it gives me more information. That's kind of bigger and it's like right in front of my face. And so what this particular one does for you is it'll give you the same thing that other one does. It's just the easier one to read, really. But it'll give you your actual entry and stop losses here on the left-hand side, and it'll also show you on the right-hand side. It'll tell you, 1% risk, 2% risk, 3% risk. You don't want to be risking a whole lot on your accounts per trade. And we'll do some demo trading here towards the end of the class at the end of the month. But it'll tell you what currency pair to look for, what time frame to look at, what pattern it is. That's very important. Certain patterns typically react the same way on a regular basis. And then when this pattern was discovered. So you'll see there's a lot of patterns that are actually setting up right now. We have at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 patterns that are actually setting up right now. But let me show you a couple of these that have actually already occurred so you can actually see what the scanner does. Let me start down here at the bottom because I actually like this pair. This one didn't quite make it to the entry, so we'll do this one. So GBP, which is the Great Britain pound, and we'll go through all these currencies here on Monday. So Great Britain pound versus the Australian dollar is this first one. And this dark green horizontal line is the entry point. So as prices are actually getting down toward the entry point, the patterns are starting to form. And as they get closer to these entry points, the pattern recognition tool will pick it up and it'll display it on the screen. And so you can wait until these prices actually get to these certain zones or these certain levels before you get in. And you can see if you got into this trade at the entry price where it said 158.12, the market actually went up from that entry point and you would have been profitable. Okay. Looking at another one that previously happened, this is the Euro USD when it was down at 103, and this thing has skyrocketed over the last couple months here, bouncing really hard off of that 103 level. But the scanner actually predicted this trade happening. Okay, now you can get into these trades and you can stay in them however long you want to or however short you want to. It's all up to you. You are actually the one that's going to hit the buy and the sell button. Take a look at this one. This one didn't quite get up to the entry zone, but we can see it predicted where the market was going to go before it actually fell down. Kind of look at one more. Okay, here's a good one right here. Euro AUD, the euro versus the Australian dollar. It got right up to this green entry line. So as prices were getting up here close, it told us where to potentially get in. And if we would have sold at this level, we would have been in profit. Now let's kind of look at some setups that are happening right now. So we see that this one is actually in our sell zone right now. The yellow zone that's formed is basically our sell window. So we can look to take a sell here and take this trade down. Now, once we get into this trade, we can also see this red line as our stop loss level. And we'll get into stop losses a lot because stop losses are important. If the price gets up to that level, we want to get out of the trade. We will call it a losing trade. We will get out of the trade and wait for the next one. So put it in a stop loss level, prevents you from losing your entire account off of a couple trades. Okay. So AUD USD is actually a trade that's setting up right now that we could potentially take. And we'll actually take these on demo accounts and let them play out, so you guys can actually see how it actually works, because that's the main thing, is does the system work? Okay. Here's an AUD JPY. This one has a little ways to go, but the pattern's already telling us where this price can potentially go. So once it gets up to this particular zone, we would actually look to sell and take profit at one of those blue dotted line areas where we think this price is actually going to go. And let's take a look at one more. NZD USD, New Zealand dollar versus US dollar. So this is getting close to our sell zone as well. So our yellow sell zone here, you can get into this trade as soon as it gets into the zone. You can wait for another pattern to develop inside of the zone. However you want to do it, we'll go through techniques of how to get into trades and get out of them as well. But you can see that this scanner is really, really powerful in actually telling us where to get in and where to get out of the marketplace. Okay. Any questions so far? So that's kind of like an overview of iMarkets Live and what you're kind of paying for and getting. And then every Monday and Thursday, I come on here and personally do some teaching, because the iMarkets Live TV is great, but there are thousands of people in these trading rooms at a time. So your question might not get seen or gets overlooked. And so I kind of help provide more of a personal touch to help you get your questions answered, so you can actually know what you're doing. All right, so let me figure out how in the world I get the screen back over here. Okay, so, all right, so no questions. All right, let me jump in and grab this PowerPoint here. I don't do a lot of PowerPoints, but I got to do a few PowerPoints at the beginning of these sessions, because without it, it's impossible. But I myself love getting past PowerPoint, just because I like to actually teach the trading side of it. Okay, but the PowerPoints are very, very, very important. All right, so, and if you got questions, definitely let me know. So we'll wrap up in about 15 minutes. Like I said, each of these sessions will be about 45 minutes long, and we cover a lot. But everything that I cover, you will go through it in the actual IML Academy if you haven't already. So hopefully you begin to hear the same thing over and over and over again. That way it just gets repetitive and it just gets filtered in. So again, you're learning a skill set, you're learning terminology. It's like going back to school. So don't try to rush the process. You will get it. And then everybody gets it at their own pace. All right. So what is Forex? Risk disclaimer. Be aware of the risk in trading. I got to harp on it all the time, but know that you can lose in trading. Trading is a zero-sum game. You can lose everything. Don't go and take out loans to start trading. Don't trade your car payments. Don't trade your mortgage payments. Don't trade your kids' food money. Be mindful that trading does involve risk. There are great rewards to it as well, but don't go out and over leverage yourself trying to trade these markets. Forex, it's just a shorter version of the word foreign exchange. So we're basically exchanging one currency for another currency. Physical demonstration of it is if you've gone outside of your home country. So I'm in the US. If I go to Canada, I have to take my US dollars and exchange them for Canadian dollars. Now, that's the hard way to trade the foreign exchange market is actually, going to the mall or going to the currency exchange, taking your dollars, and as you see the rates change on the board, you're looking to trade when one currency is worth more than the other and trying to profit that way. That's the hard way to do it. So now we actually trade it from our computers and trade live. So when we go to another country, we exchange one currency for another currency. You're not seeing the PowerPoint? Let me take it off and put it back on there again. Hold on, let's see. Stop screen share. All right, can you see it now? I saw something did flicker, so that's probably what it was. You still can't see it. Are you seeing black still? Okay. Are you on a computer or are you on a cell phone? Okay. All right. Let's see here. Let me move it to the middle screen and see if you can see it that way. All right. Share screen. Okay. What about now? All right. Cool. I don't know why that is. I have 3 screens, so I don't know why I couldn't see it on that one. Let me move this out the way. All right, cool. All right, so exchanging currency, go to one country, you exchange your currency for that country's currency. And that's pretty much what we're doing. As if one value goes up, we're making money off the values actually changing. Forex is the largest market in the world, $5.3 trillion traded every single day. So it is my favorite asset class to trade because it's the biggest to trade. There's more opportunities to trade. And I kind of add cryptos in here too, because the crypto markets are growing like crazy. And so if you can trade Forex, you can trade crypto. It's the same exact thing. A lot of people just go straight to cryptos, which is fine. But if you don't kind of understand how the markets work and you go straight to cryptos, and you're kind of working a little backwards. I mean, it can be done. It just logically doesn't make sense to do it that way. It's logically more efficient to learn the Forex market and then learn the crypto market when it comes to actually trading. If you're buying and holding the cryptos, that's totally different. Here's a little chart of the Forex market compared to the other markets. New York Stock Exchange trades around 28 billion per day. Equities market includes a little bit more, 191 billion a day. Futures market 437. And I think that number's actually up now. Well, I know that number's up now because of the actual crypto futures contracts that just came on board in the mid of December. And then you also have the gold market, which could actually slide in there, and it trades around close to $1 trillion a day now. And then again, you can see how big this Forex market is compared to the rest. Who all actually trades the foreign exchange market? Pretty much everybody, whether you know it or not, you're involved in the Forex market. The biggest participants are the central banks and governments. So the Fed chair, Janet Yellen, you want to know these names and know these different government bodies, because when they actually make a move, they affect which way the currencies are going. Knowing that and taking a little time to study what it means when they change their the interest rate, how that affects that currency, definitely helps you stay on the right side of trades. So the biggest players are the central banks and the government, followed by financial institutions and banks. Our money that's usually put in a savings account is not always sitting in our savings account. These banks are actually using it and putting it into the foreign exchange market. That's how they're able to make money themselves, and then they give us that ridiculous 2% a year off our savings. Hedge funds are trading the foreign exchange market. More and more hedge funds are actually starting to trade it now. And then retail traders are me and you that sit behind our computers and sit here and take trades. We are considered retail traders, and we make up the smallest amount of capital that actually trades the market, the Forex markets. There's, excuse me, different ways to trade the Forex market. Spot Forex market is what we're going to focus on a lot during this training. But again, on our 8 o'clock sessions when we kind of do advanced strategies and stuff, we actually talk about binary options trading as well. It's a totally different kind of mindset, different little strategies that you can use for binary options trading. But there are different ways that you can actually trade this Forex market. Why trade Forex market? It's a 25 or 24/5 hour a day market, so it's open around the clock. It's only closed on Saturday or Friday evening through Saturday until Sunday evening. Outside of that, the Forex market is open and you can trade it. Unlike the stock market that closes in the afternoons, if you're working during the day, it's really hard to trade the stock market because it closes when you get home, especially if you work during the day. That's kind of why I leaned toward the foreign exchange market when I first started learning. When I was trading, I was working night shift. I would get home in the morning. I'd be too tired to try to trade. So I tried to trade the stock market, and I'd be falling asleep when the bell rung in the morning, and it just wasn't happening. So I started to learn the Forex market and then started trading the Forex market at night while I was awake. Low cost of entry. You don't need a whole bunch of money to get started in the Forex market, which is very, very nice. If you want to day trade stocks, you need at least $25,000 so you can get past that stupid pattern day trade rule. If you have less than $25,000, you're kind of limited in buying and selling regularly. You only get 3 transactions, and you have to wait for it to close, and you have to wait for your funds to release and all that kind of stuff. Forex market, you can literally open an account for like $50 and get started trading. Leverage, something you don't have in a Forex market, and we'll actually spend like a good 15, 20, 25 minutes just talking about leverage next week, because leverage is basically the ability to control more money than what you actually put into your Forex account. I use one broker that gives me up to 3,000 to 1 leverage. And then you have other brokers that give you less than that. So we'll kind of go into leverages and U.S. regulation leverages versus overseas broker leverages. They don't teach you all this stuff outside on YouTube. So we'll kind of go through what leverage really is and how to kind of use it to your advantage. And market liquidity basically means it's a lot easier to get in and out of these particular trades that you're in. If anybody has traded stocks before, sometimes, you know, if you try to buy stock at an exact certain price, it's hard to get that price. But, you know, there's got to be a seller for every buyer and a buyer for every seller. And if there isn't somebody on the opposite side of that trade, you can't get out the trade or you can't get into that trade. The Forex market is so liquid that as soon as you hit the buy or the sell button, the chances of you getting out of that trade or into that trade is very, very high. So it's very, very easy that you can just get in and get out at the prices that you actually want to. This is a quick little slide that just kind of shows the comparison of what I just talked about, the differences between stocks and Forex. Feels like I'm beating up on the stock market, but trust me, I love the stocks as well. There's just different advantages to Forex market that you just don't have in the stock market. And some people might call it disadvantages, but however you look at it, and whatever kind of works for you, that's what really forces people to go towards one, you know, asset class versus another asset class. What time is it? Okay, yeah, I can knock these out real quick. Trading sessions. So again, all this stuff is going to be at the iMarkets Live Academy as you kind of go through that. My stuff is more like to hit that very, very important stuff that I don't want you guys to overlook. The trading sessions. So even though the Forex market is open 24 hours a day, there are certain times to trade that are better than others. So these are the actual session times. Basically, when the markets are open in these different areas of the world, those are the times you kind of want to look at those particular currencies. So we have the Sydney session, the Tokyo session, the London session, and the New York session. When the sessions overlap each other, especially the London session and the New York session, that is the best time to trade because there's more people in the markets actually trading. More money is actually moving during those times. So those are the times that you actually want to definitely look at trading. You can trade, outside of these times, but the market is really, really slow. And if the market is not moving, you can't make any money because we need the market to go in a certain direction in order to actually make some money out of it. So these are the different sessions for when the markets are open. Last slide we'll go over tonight here is the major currencies. There are a ton of different currencies. All these different countries have currencies. We focus mainly on the 8. Well, I won't say we. I focus mainly on the 8. First column is the actual currency symbol. So you're always going to see a 3-letter designation for your currency. Never 4, never 2. You're going to see a 3-letter designation for the currency. So you got to memorize these 3-letter designations because these are the ones that actually come across your ticker screen on Bloomberg and CNBC, all these channels is that 3-letter designation. Next column I have there is the actual country. So whatever country is associated with that specific 3-letter designation. The next column is what that currency is called. So in the United States, we call our money the dollar. In Japan, they call their money the yen. In Canada, they call their money the dollar. And in Switzerland, they call their money the franc. Okay. And then that last column is going to be the nickname. And the nickname isn't like the most important thing to memorize and to learn it. But when you do hear it, you actually want to actually know what somebody's talking about. So if somebody says, hey, I'm going to go and I'm going to get some kiwi. It's not a fruit. It's the actual currency that the person's probably talking about, especially if you're talking to another trader. Okay. So 4th column is the actual nickname of these currencies. So again, these are the 8 majors. These are the ones you definitely need to know. Sometimes I do trade the Mexican pesos, but it's not a major currency. Really, it's one of those currencies that's always in the news right now because talk of border security and the wall and all that kind of stuff. So it's a currency that's moving off of news and political unrest. So there's other currencies you can definitely pay attention to, but you got to know the 8 majors because those are the ones you're going to see all the time. Those are the ones that actually move the most, or the most volatile. They have the most money associated with them and transactions. Okay. Ooh, we went through a lot already. Any questions that you have for me? We'll kind of knock out any questions. And then on Monday's a pretty big day too, because I go through a lot of the kind of beginner stuff still. But if you have any questions, definitely let me know. I'm always literally almost always in my Facebook inbox and email. I'm like in those almost all day long. So if you have questions, definitely let me know. Shoot me anything. Don't worry about trying to install software and everything with iMarkets Live. The main thing is that you're able to log in right now and get to the IML Academy. As long as you can knock out those 2 things, that's really the most important part right now. And then as you can, I send out the replays of these almost the same day that tonight when it renders, or if I end up going to sleep, I'll send it out in the morning of the following day. That way you can always go back and rewatch them as well. But if you have anything, definitely feel free to reach out to me whenever. Pretty much always available to answer questions. So, and then every Monday, every Thursday, 7 p.m. It's the same Zoom session link every single time, same ID number and everything. None of that ever changes throughout the class until I teach the next class. So definitely feel free to jump on, and I will be here for anything you need. So have an awesome evening. If you got anything, let me know. Get a chance to go through the material again, awesome. If not, definitely let me know. I don't mind repeating myself over and over and over again, because I've taught this over and over and over again anyway. So I definitely don't mind repeating something and stopping and going slow and pausing and all that. I kind of go with the pace of whoever is on here. So with that, anything you can think of at all? Let me know.